everybody. It's John Murphy, your Make 100 Healthy guy, and sweet angel Cecelia Jernegan.
It's so exciting to be here with you today, John. This is going to be another really exciting show. We've got some great guests. And
absolutely. And welcome to the Make 100 Healthy Club here on Cast 11, brought to you by Visiting Angels and Make 100 Healthy and John James Murphy, PC, your favorite Northern Arizona realtor. Wow. What's going on, Cecelia?
Well, I don't know. You've got like baking soda. You got Celtic sea salt. I mean, you've got all of this stuff going on here. Yeah. And, tell me, what is this about?
Well, we're going to get into that in a second. But I just want to, remind our viewers and our listeners that the Make 100 Healthy Club is the club everyone wants to be part of, to live to 100 years with health, happiness, and most importantly, purpose. And our whole mission here is to help you discover new best practices and habits you can employ so that you can live a long, healthy, and happy life.
And like you said, John, you got to have a purpose. When you get up in the morning, if you don't have a purpose, you might as well go back to bed.
Absolutely. And so today's show, we usually have one guest, but today we have two guests. Our first guest, which we will be interviewing in just a little while, is Dr. Bhava Reddy. He's a world-renowned cardiologist. And what I love about Bhava and Dr. Reddy is that he is not only a heart surgeon, but he has a big heart. And then our next guest is going to be Jen Beyst. Tell us about Jen.
And you know what? I met Jen a few years ago, and she was talking about brain health and what you could do for your brain. And I never knew you could do stuff for your brain. And then with my company, Visiting Angels, I started seeing people, John, with dementia and Alzheimer's and memory issues and stuff. And I'm going, what's going on? Guess what I found out? With memory issues, it comes down to plaque. And how does the plaque build up on your brain? Yep. Sugar, And so the more I was learning, it was like, boy, oh boy. So Jen has some great stuff that she's going to share with us.
I'm so excited about that. So you asked me, why do I have baking soda and Celtic salt?
Yeah. Are we having lunch? I haven't had lunch. Is this lunch?
And I have a bowl of clove. Ooh. And the whole purpose of our show is to look into different areas that maybe the mainstream society, our government, before
doesn't even talk about.
Robert F. Kennedy and Maha, which we'll talk about, before they started leading people on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook to question conventional medicine. Right. There was a time long ago, before the Rockefellers, that we had something called holistic medicine.
and that's just a word. Holistic is just mean kind of like healthy, because I was looking at these cloves and I was thinking, about 5 or 10 years ago, I found out those air fresheners that you plug into your home, or you can plug it. They give them to you free at the car wash. You go to the car wash and they give you these air fresheners. Right. Well, you're breathing that. That's chemicals.
It's all toxic. Scented candles, the same thing.
Yep.
And so many other things. So on our discovery, on our own journey, because we have a curiosity, we want to see through whatever barriers are out there or misconceptions and, marketing messages that are not necessarily intended for our best health.
Right.
And so I'm going to give you a couple of examples. First of all, this baking soda. Here, do you know that baking soda was a medicine to fight the flu? It is one of nature's most purest forms of self-help.
Wow.
This particular brand is Red Mill baking soda. It's all natural. And what do I use it for? Well, I got off having underarm deodorant about a year ago. And for the first week,
you smell good. You smell good. You smell pretty good.
So the fact of the matter is I realized with the aluminum and all the chemicals that they put
right
in the baking soda,
it
was going right into my body. And what I was doing was really coating
putting chemicals,
the bad stuff.
Yep.
Well, not just the chemicals, but the perspiration and what I was clogging up was building up. That's how you get a body odor. Honestly, it builds up over time.
And do you know where baking soda comes from? I don't know if anybody knows, but it's a mineral in the earth that they go down and it's called trona. Trona, they go down in the ground and they bring it up, and that's what makes baking soda.
So this is the most natural thing and has so many uses and purposes. So I just want to share a few of them. One is I put my fingers in a little water, I dab it, I put it under my armpits, and it is an absolute natural way to stay fresh and smelling good.
And you smell good.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Telling you, it's either you or the cloves. I can't figure it out.
The other use of this baking soda is that if you have a little heartburn, I used to take Tums. The more I had heartburn, I would take a Tum. And then somebody told me, the Tums are actually taking over your natural body's your stomach's juices, and you're screwing up your biome. So your microbiome. So now if I get heartburn, I'll take a pinch, a little bit of the baking soda, put it in water, and I will drink it, and it solves the problem.
Well, and the other thing, John, is that, and I'm not supposed to say anything about my husband on the air because he said he would kill me. So hopefully he's not going to watch this when I tell you this. He brushes his teeth with baking soda.
Of course.
It's
a natural thing. Another thing that is really, really good is I take natural baths each week. And in that bath, I have baking soda. I have Epsom salt. I have borax.
That's all good stuff.
Bentonite clay, and I sprinkle in some lavender essential oils, and I pour that, and I sit in that. Oh, and calcium flakes.
Yep.
Magnesium flakes.
And doesn't it relax you too? It's so relaxing.
You're absorbing all this natural substances, and you're also purging any kind of toxins or heavy metals you have in your body. So that's just some of the uses of baking soda. Highly recommend this brand.
Bob's Red Mill. Oh, yeah. That goes back a long way.
It's well known and it's very natural. I was using one of the big guys' baking soda, and I realized whether it's true or not, I don't want to use any of the big guy stuff anymore. Another thing that we have here is
Celtic salt.
Celtic salt.
Sea salt.
Sea salt. Now, why is it here? Well, one of the things that we're told that we should do for best health, again, Cecelia, some of the things we talk about, most of the things we talk about don't cost any money.
I know.
So you have to buy a bag of
$2 probably,
$2, $3.
Yeah.
This is a great brand. It's very well known. Where is this? It's Selena Naturally, and it's a very good brand. So when I wake up in the morning, I used to drink 2 cups of coffee. I still drink 1 or 2 cups of coffee, but before I do that, I will take a big glass of water, and I will take a pinch of that salt, and I will put it in there, and I will sip it. I will say 1 or 2 before I have my coffee. Now, why do I do that? What's the benefit?
And is it warm water?
No, you could use warm. I use tap water.
Okay.
Our house is filtered with one of our H2O health systems. But basically,
did you just give a plug to Vicki Johnston?
Of course I did.
My
She's going to be a future guest on our show.
She's going to be so happy to hear that. You mentioned her story, your water filters.
So anyway, what this does is when you hydrate, and most of the times we're very dehydrated, even if we don't realize it. Mm-hmm. Once you feel thirsty, you're already dehydrated. So what the Celtic salt does is that when you drink it, it actually opens up your body and wakes up your organs, and it softens your cells so that when you drink the water, you're actually hydrating your cells. Think of a cell as like a marble. And if you pour water on the marble, it's going to go around the sides.
Right.
Okay. But when you use the Celtic salt,
it opens it up.
It opens it up and you absorb. Wow. And then you can have your coffee.
Yep.
Okay?
And I see that all the time. There's a lot of different doctors out there, Dr. Berg, Dr. Wild, there's a bunch of them. And that's one of the things they say is drinking a full glass of water every morning before you start your day. And now trust me, I'm going to go, where did you get that? Did you get it at Sprouts? Natural Grocery? Okay.
And you can get it online.
Okay.
It's a great product. I like it. And it really, there's a myth about salt, and we should do a whole segment about that.
Yeah.
Salt is not bad for us. We need salt. We are electrical beings.
Right.
But the processed salt, that's a different story. And the last natural substance that I want to talk about that is something that is so pure is clove. Now, clove, we just had Thanksgiving recently. You put
stick it in the hand.
Put it in your hand. Yeah. Have a couple of.
And you know what I was saying to you about those air fresheners that you plug in your house and their chemicals and everything. What I do with this clove, John, is I put it into a little glass cup, a little bit of water, put it in the microwave, warm it up, and it makes the house smell so good.
There you go.
You know?
The only thing I would suggest is don't put it in the microwave. Microwaves are bad for you. We'll get into that.
I know. And I don't use the microwaves for anything that I ingest into my body.
There you go.
But to make my house smell pretty, instead of using fragrances and stuff that have chemicals, this makes your house. Now, can you put it in a little pan on the stove and boil it with water too?
Might be better.
And I've done that, where I've actually picked up the little pan and it's boiling, and I've walked around into the bedroom, the kitchen, and it smells so good. But you're saying to go ahead and eat one of these?
So one of the natural remedies and one of the things for oral health and for your gut biome is clove.
Huh.
And by the way, parasites hate it. They hate it. And so I take a little clove. It's a little
It's got a little bit of a bite to it. It's got a little bite to it. Yeah.
So just like
Didn't they have clove? Wasn't it a gum back in the 19th?
Clove again.
Wow.
We're going back to the basics.
Yeah.
We're going back. And so you get a bag of clove for a couple of dollars and you will keep your body healthy. You will fight against parasites. You'll have healthy gums. You'll smell good.
And your house can smell good too.
And you smell too. Clove is great.
Yeah.
So, Cecelia, I got to tell you, being on the show with you.
I get so excited. So excited.
You're a sweetheart, and that's why I call you my sweet angel, Cecelia. And you are the visiting angels lady. And we are kindred spirits in trying to bring good, best health practices to people of all ages. But really, when you're in the second half of your life.
Yep.
That's what it really.
Well, and I think too, John, at least for me, and I tell people, it doesn't matter if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. It doesn't matter what decade you're living in. It's never too late to make changes. And the thing is, I think when you're in your 20s and 30s, you think you're invincible, and so you don't really stop and think about your body and what you're putting into it and what you're putting on it until you do get a little bit older. But now today with the internet and with the way that we can access information, I'm seeing kids now that are in their late teens and early 20s, and they figured it out. They're looking at what's going on out there and why are so many people sick? Why do people have dementia? Why do people have memory issues? And we'll talk about that with Jen when she gets in here. Yep. But I think there is a huge revolution taking place, and then
we're part of it.
Yep,
we're part of it. And so what Cecelia is talking about is that the public, you are thirsty for information, truth. Not just marketing messages. Ultra processed food is literally garbage. And it's been shown through Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Maha that ultra processed foods are poisonous to our bodies. The seed oils are poisonous. And we see excess obesity, and it's not because people are doing much different, but the food they're eating is nutritionally deficient.
And it's really sad, that our whole culture, when you stop to think about it, how are we going to shift our culture? How are we going to change things?
We're doing it.
But we are doing it. And
day by day, moment by moment, little segments like, somebody uses baking soda. They use Celtic salt, clove. Guess what? That person just got healthier.
And I can tell you, John, when my son was born, I used to walk down to the bank. And at the bank, they always had these little suckers that they gave the kids that, when they walked into the
lollipop.
The little lollipop. When they walked in, they gave the bank. It was free. They got a lollipop. And I always turned it down. Eventually, guess what the bank did? They had a bowl of apples. So when my son came in, they gave him an apple.
There you
and
go.
so
Forced behavior
little tiny shifts like that we can take. And, even right now it's the holidays, it's Christmas and everything. And I'm trying to find gifts that I can give to people that doesn't have a lot of sugar, doesn't have a lot of chemicals. It's hard right now, but we are making a shift in America with our show.
And the more that we do, the more that you can share with your family and friends some of the things, to do your own research, to just keep moving, get active. And, together as a community, we will surge a renewal and a revival and an awakening, the great awakening, if you will, on the positive things that we have. God put all these beautiful things on earth, and we have to use them and get back to basics. And I'm so happy. I'm just so pleased because...
Well, but here's the thing, John, is that you and I both know, because it's hard in today's world. It's hard to go to Starbucks and have that croissant,
Well, it's all a balance. It's okay. It's okay to, you can have fat days and skinny days.
Exactly.
As long as you have more skinny days than fat ones.
and so here's what we need to do with our club is that I can't do it by myself. I need motivation. You motivate me. And I'm hoping that our club motivates other people that are out there, because it's not just you and I that are trying to make a shift, but you know what? I struggle on days too. And it's like, I need somebody to help me. I want to be part of a club. And that's why we created Make 100 Healthy. So we can inspire people.
Together as a community, we empower each other. We support each other. We motivate each other. We stimulate each other, because you are not alone. We're not alone. Right. And one of the things I'm so happy about is the merging between traditional Western medicine and an appreciation for the holistic measures and natural eating. And just recently, Cecelia, I had a chance to speak to an incredible man. He's now my neighbor, Dr. Bhava Reddy. He's a cardiologist here in Northern Arizona. He's a world-class athlete. Last year, he ran so many marathons, he did over 2,000 miles.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, he's an amazing guy. Yeah. And even though he is in the medical model of our society, he has such wisdom on what's really important. And he's going to share the one thing that he talked about, which we're going to interview him just a second, is chronic inflammation. And he's going to share the 6 things that you can do to help yourself reduce cardiac problems and certainly dying of a heart attack. And so I invite you to check out my conversation with Dr. Reddy.
This is so exciting. I can't wait to hear.
And that is the heart of the matter. Hey, everybody. It's John Murphy, your Make 100 Healthy guy. And I am so honored to have a friend and one of the top cardiologists in the business here with me, Dr. Reddy. Great to see you, sir.
Hi, John.
Good to see you too. So not only do I know that you're a great cardiologist, you're a great person, a great humanitarian, and I think the title of this article is called Heart to Heart. So we want to talk about heart health, but we also want to talk about matters of the heart. And I think you have an abundance of both. Tell me about your practice and what do you do as a cardiologist to help people?
Yeah, by profession, I'm actually a interventional cardiologist, and then I'm also trained in peripheral vascular and heart failure transplant. Mostly, I even focus on preventive cardiology.
We like that.
So that's the most, like a kind of a area of my expertise. And then also I like and encourage people to, go on the path of like a prevention is better than like a cure always. Or if unfortunately somebody gets diagnosed with a coronary artery disease or the vascular disease, we focus mostly on like a secondary prevention too. So there's so many things that we can talk about.
So the whole idea is that today's modern medicine and the doctors of the future are more focused on prevention than after the fact. Tell me some of the things that you recommend for people to do so they never have to see you professionally.
Right. I think that did with the nexus, like the core problem of, cardiovascular disease are like the disease burden in this country. We call it as a chronic inflammation. This is a word, we use the chronic inflammation. This is unfortunately, it's the immune system that kind of like hyperactive mode, trying to like destroy everything. So basically, you're talking about it's all, a core component of this problem is the chronic inflammation, but how to prevent it is the main thing that we are going to do. Okay.
So what are your top tips to reduce chronic inflammation?
Yes. I think I have the 6 things that I talk to all my patients. Okay. That to begin with, 30 minutes of cardio at least 5 times a week is a minimum thing. American Heart Association recommends 150 minutes of aerobic exercise every week. That's correct. Okay. Apart from that, just not to lose the muscle mass, I tell every patient, do the upper body weights one day, lower body weights another day.
Yes.
So number 2, sleep is one of the very important things to look for. Getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep actually helps to decrease your inflammation in the body. Okay, and that's a tip number 2.
People take that for granted, don't they?
Absolutely, yes. And then the next thing is a diet. Diet becomes a huge thing. American diet itself is a major risk factor, and then which actually accelerates the chronic inflammation. The best diet, which is close to my belief, and then also a recommendation from American Heart Association, is Mediterranean diet.
Mediterranean diet.
That is the best way.
Fruits and vegetables, lean meats and fish, right?
Absolutely. That decreases the inflammation. Okay. And then coming to the point number 4, stress reduction. Stress itself can accelerate this inflammation to the next level. I don't want that. So try and do meditation, try and do whatever the things that make you happy, try and relax. That's the next thing that you're focusing on. And then tip number 5, good socialization with friends and family. That's the absolute key thing. There's so many studies that actually proven that doing these things will decrease your disease burden. It increases your longevity, not only the longevity, your health span will increase too.
Exactly.
And then lastly, this is not easy for a lot of the people. I think you need to be very mindful before attempting the last tip that I'm trying to say, intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is the way to go. There are so many different ways to do. I think you get the benefit starting from 14 to 16 hours of intermittent fasting.
Yes, perfect.
You can do 1 or 2 times a week is fine.
Yeah.
And then if you can add 24-hour fasting, can make a huge difference. That's another thing to think of.
So these are great tips from a cardiologist, but they are common sense tips, right? And so, our whole goal at the Make 100 Healthy Club is to encourage people to live a long life, to make 100 years old with health, happiness, and purpose.
Yeah.
And the socialization part of it is very important. Besides the clinical, physical diagnosis of heart health, what you spoke about was social and family. Talk about what's important to you when you're not working as a cardiologist.
Yeah, for me, not working, the next thing I like to do is to decompress and then recharge myself with the energy.
Right.
The things that really helps me is this, having a good habit. I'm a long distance runner. I like to do marathons. And then last year I ran about 2,000 miles. This year about 1,500 miles so far. This year kind of a little bit less, but the idea here is that pick a habit that makes you happy, that actually makes you kind of a recharge to that, next day that what you want to share. And the other thing I love to do is socialization. That's the thing that I really love to do. The reason is meeting so many people, trying to know what, life is all about, and then trying to see the way you live, what the difference you can make to the community. These are all the very, very important things. If you focus on these 2 things outside of your work, I'm pretty sure that actually adds to your longevity. And just to add another one, there's a research going on, something called blue zone longevity. This is going on for a little over 20 years. I think they picked up 5 areas in the world to see.
The blue zones.
Blue zones.
Yep.
Why people are living longer. So average life expectancy in blue zones compared to United States is about 8 to 9 years of extra living.
It's all lifestyle, right?
It's all about lifestyle. The thing
diet, exercise, socialization, community, respect for our elders, the elders having purpose, because there's a lot of people, right, that have good hearts, but they just pass away because they have no purpose and they're lonely. These are great tips from one of the top cardiologists in our country and certainly in our area. What do you love about Prescott the most?
Yeah, the good thing about the Prescott is the community itself is a beautiful community, calm, quiet, and then a well-respected. I think this is a very well-connected and family-oriented community. I like this family values of trying to be together.
Yes.
That is the best thing for a human being. You need to have a society where you belong to, a sense of belonging, purposeful living, and having good connection with the families is the way to go. Otherwise, there's nothing more. Like, if you want to increase the speed to the life in an unnecessary way, I think it leads to like a lot of catastrophe, especially mental disease. That leads to the heart disease and disease burden. So the best about this society is one of the best. I viewed all corners of this country. I think like Pesca is the best. And
I agree. Well, I would thank you for taking time in your busy day. Where he's in between procedures, and he took the time out to speak to us and for the Prescott Healthy Living magazine. So thank you, Dr. Reddy. You're a gentleman. Thank you for what you do to keep people healthy. And for you at home that are watching this, these are great tips from somebody who has medical knowledge, but he also has common sense. And the main thing he spoke about, you can control. Does it cost money to sleep more? Does it cost money to be nice to people or to eat a good diet? So these are great tips from a great doctor in Archimedes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Like a John, yeah.
Wow, John, that was so amazing. It was so exciting to listen to Dr. Reddy and all that he had to talk about. No wonder the two of you have a heart-to-heart.
It was a heart-to-heart conversation.
Yes, it was.
Thank you, Cecelia.
But it's so exciting. And you know what? He talked about the heart.
Absolutely.
But now, what are we going to be talking about?
We're going to talk about the mind.
Yes, we are going to be.
We're going to take a deep breath, and we're going to interview a wonderful guest in the studio that is a world of information and solutions to cognitive health. Why don't you introduce our next guest?
Well, John, before I do that, I have to remember what you taught me is that you told me that the reason people smoked cigarettes and the way they still smoke cigarettes today.
One of the reasons
is because they take a deep breath.
Take a deep breath, relax,
and they blow it out.
And that's good for a lot of things.
So I find myself doing that now when I'm at a stop.
Smoking? You're smoking now?
Yes, I'm
I've
smoking.
Inspired her. She's going to make 79 healthy.
I'm going to go buy myself a package of Lucky Strikes as soon as we get out of this, But I just, I love taking a deep breath, and I love that. I know that it's going to help the heart, but help the brain and the mind. That brings us to Jen. And we are so delighted to have you here today. And I can't wait to tell everybody a little bit about you and, what you do. But before we talk about that, I have to tell you, you were up in front of the room. It was a big room full of people, and you were doing kind of like a mind test or a brain test or something, and you were saying to us that when you said the word that was a color like red or blue or yellow, we were supposed to raise our right hand. But then when you would say strawberry or banana or pineapple, we were supposed to raise our left hand. And so you said blue, I raised my right hand. And then you said pineapple, and I raised my left hand. And I thought, oh my God, I'm passing this test. My brain is so good.
Right.
But then you said orange. Is it a fruit or is that color?
Ooh, tricky.
And
was a trick.
And I just, I remember I was in the audience. And I went, oh my God, I'm not passing this test, But anyway, so tell us about your company and tell us how you started this. You've had quite a journey.
Yes, it's been a wonderful journey. And so Cognitive Function Development Institute, CFDI, really long name for a really fun engagement style that we have to help people change their brain and nervous system. So we are able to transform people's engagement with the world by doing the work that we do. We started this back in Rochester, Minnesota. That was about 16 years ago.
Okay.
We had kind of a couple of personal reasons that we started it. First of all, I had watched my grandfather decline with Alzheimer's.
Oh boy.
And at that time, of course, it was early 90s. And so it was too, I wasn't able to do anything about it at that time. It was earlier than.
And nobody really knew. Nobody had any information on that.
It was just hard. It was really hard to watch that. And then 3 children, and they all had really interesting, they would call it neurodivergent these days, So my oldest one, she had some auditory processing issues and had really, trouble with following along with what people were saying. My son had dyslexia, and then my youngest ADHD with a little dyslexia as well. Anyway, so these 3 kids, and they're having struggles with things. And so I became an educational therapist.
Okay.
And
to help your children, right?
To help my children.
Because you have the trifecta of issues.
Yes, I know.
I'm not laughing,
Wow. I'm telling you.
And back then, they really honestly did not know a lot. I mean,
they didn't, right?
They didn't.
I had the honor of being able to actually mentor and work under the co-creator of the Orton-Gillingham approach, which is the preeminent approach that is still used for people with dyslexia.
What is that?
Wow.
It's a technique that's used in order to help teach people with dyslexia how to read in a systematic, structured way.
Wow.
But here's the thing. If they don't have their cognitive functions in alignment, it takes like 3 times as long. Wow. So my son did like 4 years and he still wasn't really reading very well. So then that led me and spurred me on to do something more, which is where we went to the neuroscience. And okay, so what can we do with the brain? Came across cognitive and processing enhancement to help to figure out, gosh, what are the functions that happen in the brain? What could be preventing this from just working easily for him like it had with other people?
Yeah, and you know what? If I'm not mistaken, aren't there a lot of comedians like Whoopi Goldberg or Ron Williams, or I'm trying to think that because they do have this dyslexia and they can't communicate as well as other people, they become funny and I have read a little bit about that. Did you see that in your son or your children? Did you see?
They all have really wonderful personalities. That yes, they have their own ways of coping and changing things. So then that really is kind of what sparked this whole world. And the world of cognitive function development helps people from ages 6 all the way up to, right now we just started someone who's 96.
Wow.
So you're never too old to have your mind
She
and
has
your
an optimistic
brain.
attitude, doesn't she?
Yes,
I love that. She wants to make 100 healthy.
That's right. Exactly.
Now you said Rochester. Was that connected with the Mayo Clinic in any way? Because that was
No, we were just under the shadow of the Mayo Clinic. We were this little thing under the shadow. Okay. And eventually the psychiatrists and psychologists and doctors and nurses would send their kids over to get help. Or even they themselves. Sometimes, if there was some stressful circumstances that had befallen them and ADHD.
Then how did you get to Little Prescott, Arizona? How did you get here?
So my mom and dad were snowbirds, and so they had a place in Mesa. And you know what? And just 9 years ago, we decided, gosh, they're getting older. Well, my dad had passed by then, but my mom was getting older.
Okay.
And instead of like getting on the plane when things happen, you know how that goes.
Yes.
I wanted to be closer so that we could just take a quick car ride.
Couple hours. And did you fall in love with Prescott?
Oh, yes. we went on a tour in 2015. And so, we went the typical where you would
Sedona, Cottonwood, Flagstaff. Yeah.
Got here and went, okay, nowhere else. This is it.
I'm here 10 years from the East Coast. And it's like, is this real? I mean, even like the Granite Dells, the rock formations. I always say to people, it's like being in Disney World, but it's real.
Exactly. I love it. Yeah.
And so then you brought the company with you then, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep, we sure did.
So tell us about how you help people and what can people do at home to really minimize, reverse, or try to get rid of, whatever cognitive health condition that they're dealing with.
Yeah. So we start our work with an objective measure because, how are you going to know what to do unless you know where things are actually at?
Sure.
So we use a tool that actually has been used for about 30 years. It started being used in the lab where they were researching, effects on the brain and things like that. Cambridge Brain Sciences. They now have a platform that's called CRAOS. And that CRAOS assessment is what we use to base our work. We figure out what are the 2 lowest functions.
Okay. So where are you at? Where are you at right now? And then where do you want to go? And how do we get there?
Exactly.
And you build a roadmap for them.
And we build a roadmap. And we usually work with people 2 times a week. And it's fun. The
Yeah.
key is you have to have
Yes.
fun engagements.
Yes.
That's the key to life, right?
Yeah.
Told you, we need
exactly.
to have more fun.
Come
I
on.
tell him that all the time. Let's have more fun, you know?
And you would be astonished at how the brain and nervous system change in fun. And so even though sometimes we're doing challenging things like, putting your hand up and down, or sometimes we'll do numbers, for example, like, okay, add 3 to each number I say. And I'll be like, okay, 4. And you have to say 7. And I'll say 10 and you say 13. And then I start going faster and saying them. And you're like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
But it's fun. And it really gets them engaged
Yeah.
and energized.
Yeah.
And so people walk out of there going, wow, I feel really different. Attention deficit, getting people to focus and to have their mind under their control rather than kind of ping-ponging around.
Is it right now with the internet and with the TikTok and is this changing people's brains and minds right
It
now?
is.
Sure, they have a short attention span.
Yeah.
Now,
Right.
I want to ask you, back in the day, I went and saw Tony Robbins.
Yes.
Unleash the power within. And there was a woman who talked about getting raped by her grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
And she could not be naked in front of her husband for 13 years. And she talked about this in front of everybody.
Wow.
And Tony Robbins said to her, he goes, God damn you. And everybody was like, what? He goes, how dare you allow that man who I would strangle with my own hands affect you for 13 years? And during the 3 days of the Unleash the Power, he worked with her.
Yeah.
And she said that she made some changes.
Yep.
And so what he said was when something is so traumatic that the first thing you do is try to think of it in a black and white instead of color.
Right.
And that diminishes the connection. And then you put it inside a box and then you make the box smaller and smaller until it's gone.
Yeah.
Is that kind of, an outreach of some of the type of philosophies and things that you do?
We have that as underpinning.
Right.
That is part. What we're specifically targeting, though, interestingly, are the memory and the attentional functions.
Okay.
And so when you do the engagements like she was talking about, putting your hands up, I'm talking about numbers or words, letters, those types of things. When you start stressing that system in a fun way, it will allow your system to process through those types of
unlock the block.
Yeah.
unlock the block.
Unlock
You
the
can
block.
take that.
I like that. Unlock the block.
Now,
There you go.
that's going to be her tagline.
I know.
But talking about Tony Robbins, he wrote a book about a year or so ago called Life Force. And he talks about, what you were talking about and everything. My question to you, though, is that with AI today, and I don't want to get into the, the scary stuff, everybody's like, oh my God, it's going to change the world. Well, it already is changing the world. But I saw a documentary that said that they possibly could implant a little something in your brain, your, system, and reverse memories or extract and subtract memories. Have you heard anything on that?
I read a little about that. Quite frankly, to me, that seems rather horrifying. But
I agree.
I just know that here's what I know.
Okay.
Because lived experience, and the lived experience for me is with my husband. My husband had an extraordinarily, you wouldn't believe it type of growing up. Things that happened to him and that were done with him are things that are worse than what that person you were just talking about went through.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And he has, through this modality, been able to process through and really overcome those things.
Okay.
Wow. That's so
that is
amazing.
wonderful. Now, let me ask you though, with what you were talking about with your husband, I was talking to a lady the other day and she was telling me that, some of the things that had happened in her family. And I thought, oh my God, how are you even still standing after all of this stuff that has happened? If somebody needs your help, how can you help anybody or do you invite people to come to your courses or classes or how does that work?
Right. They can come in and have a free consultation with me.
Okay.
So I can see with us, to see what, how appropriate it may be. We do need to have people able to recognize colors and shapes, be verbal.
Sure.
We do work with people with low vision though, but they need to be verbal and they need to be willing. And this is where the mind comes comes in. And so if they're at the point where they're like, you know what, I would really like something to be different, and I'm willing to challenge,
that's when they're open to it.
That's
right?
when they're
That's
open
when they're
to
open.
it.
That's the key, right?
And that's the key. It makes it so
Right.
much easier, and
Yeah.
it makes any of the things that we do much more effective.
Excellent. Well, we are so glad that you're here. And
Yeah.
I personally want to thank you for being a sponsor for our Make 100 Healthy Rock the Garden Open
Oh,
Golf Classic.
Yes.
right.
Last year you did it, and this year it's on April 28, 2026 at the club at
Gotcha.
Prescott Lakes.
Wow.
It's a
Wow.
great private club. I happen to be a member, and we raise money for our Prescott Food Forest, gardening education programs, and to fund our volunteers and our whole growing food.
Excellent.
And thank you for being a
Yeah.
part of that. I hope we have you there again this
Yeah.
year.
Absolutely. I mean, I truly believe it. It's not just one thing. Like what
Yeah.
we do has to combine with the nutritional effect. Are you eating foods that are
Exactly
good?
right.
Are you moving? Are you getting enough
Yeah.
exercise?
Yeah.
Are you surrounding yourself with social connections that are meaningful?
Exactly.
Do you have something that matters in your life?
That's what Dr. Reddy was saying. It's,
Mhm.
physical health is tied with mental and spiritual health
Yeah.
and the social connection that we have, emotional.
Yep.
I
Yep.
mean, there's
They're all
plenty of
connected.
people-
They're all
There's
connected.
plenty of people that have beautiful bodies and work out and they're miserable. And there's people that are in terrible shape that are just joyous souls.
Mhm.
Yes.
So the idea is to balance it out together. So thank you for being on our Make 100 Healthy Club show.
yes.
We thank you for all the great work you do, and we're happy to support you. How can people get in touch with you?
Oh, they can call. We're available at 928-848-9766. If they want to learn about us, the best website is brainbuilders.health.
I like
Oh,
that.
brainbuilders.health.
Yes, we've got some great information on there. It's really easily accessible.
Okay.
Good, good.
Great.
Well, thank you so much, Jen. We'll see you
much.
again
Thanks
soon.
for having me on.
It's a pleasure.
Right.
And now, you know what time it is.
Oh.
It's grow time, baby.
Oh, grow time. This
It's
is grow time. Okay.
And we're going to get into our next segment. And Jen, you're welcome to sit in on this. But we know that most long-term longevity, healthy habits start with your diet.
Mhm.
And we are what we eat.
Right. And
Right?
that is so very
And
true.
so-
and it's hard though, John. It's hard in today's world because every place, I mean, I'm a busy person. I mean, I've got my family in Phoenix. I got my family in Prescott. I've got my Angel family. There's
You do.
65,000 square miles in northern Arizona. And and honestly, I know this is going to make you laugh, but today I was trying to eat an organic salad in my car before I came here in a little baggie
That's tough.
with some little baby tomatoes that I got from Sprouts, I think. And I was trying to mix it and I spilled the salt and the lettuce was falling out of the bag. And I tried and look, it's on I've got it on my blouse. How do you do that in today's world? I don't know how you eat healthy in today's world when it's so
a discipline.
fast-paced.
Well, first of all, it's a discipline, but then it becomes like anything else. It's just modification of your perspective. How many people say, "Oh, I just want to have this this juicy, McDonald's burger because I want a treat." Well, it's not a treat. You're poisoning yourself with garbage.
You know what?
Okay.
That is so true because I did that with my husband. What holiday was it? Was it Thanksgiving? I think it was. But anyway, I always want to bring him sugar, donuts, sweets because I love him, and he loves that stuff.
You want to give him a treat.
And it finally dawned on me. If I loved him, I would not be doing that.
That's true. It's a way of educating yourself and others.
Yes.
My dad, God rest his soul, he loved his sweets and he was like somewhat diabetic, right?
Yeah.
Took his meds and he would love his birthday cake.
Yeah.
And so when he would eat a birthday cake, a chocolate cake, I'd have chocolate cake. I'm the oldest of 5 children. We would take bets. How long before dad passes out from a sugar coma?
Sugar coma.
And it's true.
Yeah.
And he would
Yeah.
be dying.
Yeah.
And so the whole idea is that we educate each other and we expand our thoughts. As Dr. Reddy said earlier, the Mediterranean diet of, legumes, vegetables, fruits, lean meats, lean, fishes, are a way to go. And that's why you get back to nature. So what we're doing in our,
Grow time.
Grow Time segment is we are going to extend an invitation to you and to all of our listeners and all of our followers to submit a recipe for our new project, the Make 100 Healthy Club Longevity Cookbook.
And I am so excited about this because one of the things that I am growing up is that, and you got to understand, my mom was Italian. My dad was Polish. I was a Powop when I was growing up.
You can't say that anymore.
I know. It's not politically correct, But anyway, we used to make this thing. It was called shepherd's pie, and you hamburger and cheese and green beans, mashed potatoes, and oh my God, I can still make that today. But instead of the mashed potatoes, I use cauliflower. I put my cauliflower in my Instant Pot, get it really soft. I put it in my blender, put a little bit. So that's what we're going to be doing. And that recipe is going to go in our cookbook.
So we are inviting you to share a secret recipe, something that has helped you. We're going to talk in our next segment about juicing. But the bottom line is, if you would be kind enough to submit a recipe or two, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, we would like to include that
and put their name.
Make 100 Healthy Club Longevity Cookbook. There's going to be two versions. There's going to be an online version that will be expansive. And then there will be the top 100 recipes.
And that will have their name. It will have their name.
It'll be your name, and you'll be credited for it, and you'll be doing your little part.
How do they get it to us?
Well, they're going to go to make100healthyclub.com.
Okay.
We have a landing page. It's coming soon. Make 100 Healthy Cookbook, longevity plan, and you can get in touch with us directly in our email.
And
John,
and maybe the top 5 people we invite them to come on, and
I would love that.
We'll do like a little cooking presentation because we'll be able to in 2026 we'll be able to do a little bit more with Cast 11, and so we'll do a little cooking.
It's a work in progress.
Okay.
But our intention is to get this book out in the next couple of months. You can email me directly, John.Team, Team, Murphy @gmail.com. I'll share that with you, Cecelia.
Perfect.
And we are going to, we're going to share some great recipes, some healthy recipes that taste delicious. A lot of times people think, if it's natural, it doesn't taste good. Well, that's not true.
Yeah, that is not true.
It's a matter of getting your taste buds refocused on what's healthy. How many people that are on Pepsi, they think that, Diet Pepsi tastes disgusting. And the people on Diet Pepsi think that regular Pepsi tastes disgusting.
It's the brain. It's the mind. It's the mind.
Mind over matter. So we invite you to be part of our community and our club and put a recipe together for our Make 100 Healthy Longevity Cookbook. And we'll be back right after this. And we're back. Cecelia, that was an amazing segment.
Boy, wasn't that
Jen's
something?
a really nice person.
You know what? You stop and think about back, like I think about when my children were growing up and now, this new world and everything's going on. There's just so much that we're learning. And Jen was great.
And her story and with her children and her husband, she's doing great work. And one of the things we want to do is share something new. And this is a segment that we call Movement Matters.
And this is for our club.
Because if you don't use it, you lose it.
And this is for our club. So let's motivate people. And so what are we going to show them today?
Okay, so today we are going to introduce a topic called tapping. Not tap dancing, but tapping, which is getting your body attuned to the flow of your blood and of nature. When I say nature, the natural
They call that
flow.
EFT, don't they?
I'm not sure.
Emotional Freedom Techniques,
That could
EFT.
be.
Okay.
There you go.
I'm ready.
So this is a segment that we want you to participate in, okay? We want you to do this with us. So the whole theory of tapping is that it aligns your body, it synchronizes your body to have a good flow for your lymphatics and your thyroids. And if you do this every day, you will reduce your chance for cardiac problems and tumors greatly. So it's called tapping.
And do you do it like in the morning, in the afternoon?
I do it every morning when I take a shower.
Okay.
And I sit down and I do this. I take a steam shower. I love a steam shower. It's great for me. It's good mentally, spiritually, physically. And then I will, after I do my deep breathing exercises, I will do tapping. And what it is, let's do it together.
Okay.
It's a series of 9 movements that are used to open up your whole body and basically give you the flow that your lymphatics are draining and so forth. So here we go.
I'm going to follow you.
You start with your palms of your hands.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, this is called cupping. You take your arm out and you take your hand and you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that is on right here in the middle of your other side of your elbow. And then you do the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now you put your hand above your head and you tap right under your armpit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You do this every day. You will give your body the flow.
It's like loving yourself. It's like loving yourself.
It is a really, really free, again, a free, fun technique to get your body and keep your body synchronized.
Yeah.
And so it's a simple exercise. If you do it, you will experience the benefits of it. I will say, before you do anything, we have to say, consult your doctor, do your own research.
Yeah.
But in my personal experience, it has kept me healthy, happy, and has kept me really balanced.
Why you have so much energy? Because you know what? I'm thinking now when I get up in the morning, I am going to get a glass of water. I'm going to put a little bit of that Celtic salt in it. I'm going to drink that.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to pretend like I'm smoking a cigarette and I'm going to take
You like that.
deep breaths and blow it out. And then when I get done, then I'm going to do the tapping. And that will only take me like what, 10 minutes?
So Cecelia, what you're saying is true. These things don't take a long time. They just take you focusing on incorporating them as important parts of your day. Consistency is the key. And so the next segment is one that we both are so connected to. First of all, Sweet Angel Cecelia and Visiting Angels. You are a great partner in this journey.
Thank you so much.
And on Make 100 Healthy, my nonprofit foundation, we have something called Arlene's Angels and the Arlene's Angels Award. And I've said it every week, but I'm going to say it every week, that this award is really about my dad. It's in honor of my mom, who was given 6 months to live and lived 13 years, but it's about the caretaker. And I know that's really close to your heart too.
Yeah. It's that person.
Is the most selfless person in our society. And my dad did so much to keep my mom going. The last 5 years of her life, she was on a feeding tube, but every month he would take her to get her teeth cleaned. He took her to get her hair done. He would have a little bear that would say, "I love you." And he made her feel so good.
And
so
she never had any bed sores.
She never had any bed sores. I spoke about the fact that my father made sure he put vitamin E oil on her and then he blew dry her so she never had moisture and that kept her quality of life. So the Arlene's Angels Award is really not just about my mom, who was a great teacher, a gardener, a person far beyond. She was the first one to talk to me about the dangers of fluoride. She was way ahead of her game.
Wow.
So the Arlene's Angels Award we've given, we had Ann Smeltzer on in our last episode. What a great lady.
Wasn't she something?
And she's 83 years old. She's jumping out of helicopters. laughters.
I know.
And she really is on her way to make 100 healthy. This week's focus is Doug and Joanne Brown.
Wow.
Doug
wow.
and Joanne Brown are a wonderful couple that just recently moved from Paulden, Arizona out to South Dakota. And they had their own winery and vineyard.
Wow.
And they grew their own wines that are superb. They're featured in some local restaurants and speakeasies. And Doug and Joanne have really been salt of the earth people. They work the land, and they have made a generous donation to the Make 100 Healthy Foundation to help us give out scholarships and to help teach the next generation, our gardeners of destiny, how to grow food. So we want to focus
They are true.
a spotlight.
They're true angels on earth.
They are true angels.
Wow.
I was blessed to meet them. I actually helped them sell their farm and their winery. After a year, they had a hard time selling it.
Sure.
I got in there and we got it done. And there's a great new family in there now. So this week's recipients of the Arlene's Angels Award is Doug and Joanne Brown. Thank you so much for your trust in me and for extolling the virtues of my parents. And God bless you. And finally, Cecelia, we can't end the show without having gratitude and blessings. We call it gratitudes and platitudes, but it's really about blessings.
Right.
And, as much as we like to have fun and we laugh and we keep lighthearted, which is so important, we have to really take a moment and really to give thanks for all the things that we have, both good and bad in our life, because bad situations lead to better outcomes. What are you grateful for this week, Cecelia?
You know what, John? I stop and I think about all the people that I work with and I come across and, over the last 5 years with visiting angels, and I see some of the most horrific stories and families that have had, cancer and diabetes and Parkinson's and, but there are people that are out there that no matter how many times they get knocked down, it's how many times they get back up. And it's interesting. It's interesting to me that in order to have, I believe, gratitude, it starts with your attitude.
Attitude of gratitude, baby.
The attitude of gratitude,
I like
that. And so I think, when I look around, like you said, John, you've got, in northern Arizona, I drove up to, Payson and Sholo on Sunday, up in my region is northern Arizona. And I was driving up there and they were amazing animals that came out on the road, beautiful deer,
wow.
and I was delivering Christmas gifts, to our clients and caregivers.
Wow.
And I thought, oh my God, those are reindeers, they're helping me deliver my gifts, but I think that you have to have a good attitude so that you can look at what you do have and have gratitude. Do you have 2 legs that you can walk? Do you have 2 eyes? I see these amazing sunsets. And just this week we had the full moon. Did you see the full moon?
Unbelievable.
Oh my God.
Just breathtaking.
And I stopped to think, I have 2 eyes that I can see that.
Well, you are very blessed.
Yes.
And so, what we're grateful for is not only you, it's all of our friends and family. And I want to personally say that I'm grateful for my wife, Lisa. Lisa is a fierce person who started her own business, Silver Sands Recovery, and she's helping people with alcohol and drug addictions. And what I see on Thanksgiving that recently passed, she gets literally dozens of people that thank her for saving their life, their child's life, their parents' life. And so I'm very blessed to have a great partner to go through this journey.
Well, and she's drop dead gorgeous too.
It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt at all. But, my father said the most important decision you make is who you are going to share your life with. And I'm very, very lucky.
Yeah, and I believe that I was talking to my two sons over Thanksgiving, and we were talking about that, about who you share your life. Who do you have in your tribe?
That's right.
Who do you have, on social media that you follow and stuff? And I always go back and I say, do you know why Ronald Reagan, I believe now, it doesn't matter. I don't know if he was Democrat or Republican or independent. It doesn't matter. But do you know why he was such a great president?
Why?
Nancy Reagan, his partner.
Well, Nancy.
Yeah, because, she just absolutely adored him. She watched out for him. I know she was criticized because she was into astrology and should he not get on the plane to fly someplace and everything.
But she loved him.
All
her motivations were pure in that regard.
So I think if you have a good partner, that partner makes you who you are and you make them who they are.
And you know what? The key is that we really enjoy each other. We have fun.
Yeah.
I asked my wife, I go, when do you think I'm ever going to grow up and mature? And she started laughing. I'm 63, for God's sake. If it hasn't happened yet, it is not going to happen. Yeah. So let's recap.
Okay.
Let's talk about our show today. All right. First of all, we shared with you some great natural remedies, from baking soda to Celtic salt, to clove.
To the clove. I still taste the clove. And there's so many others. I still taste the clove in my mouth.
Well, that's good. That means you're fresh. And then we had a great intimate conversation with Dr. Reddy.
Yeah.
And the heart of the matter, we had a heart-to-heart conversation. His 6 ideas and his 6 ways of living a great life and reducing cardiovascular health. We're going to put them in our notes below. And then we had a great conversation with Jen.
Yep. We went
Jen
from
Beyst,
the heart to the brain,
the heart to the mind.
Yeah, heart to the mind.
And then, of course, Grow Time. And we just are so blessed for everybody that's tuned in. You could reach out to us. What's your direct email address? You
know what? I tell people to VANA. That stands for Visiting Angels of Northern Arizona. So it's Vanna Marketing at visitingangels.com.
Excellent. And you can get in touch with me directly, john.tmurphy@gmail.com. This is John Murphy, your Make 100 Healthy guy, saying nothing but thanks, along with sweet angel Cecelia.
Thank you, John. Thank you for us having this opportunity. And let's keep inspiring people and get more people to join our club. It's free.
That's right. And remember, one little step in front of the other step, after the other step, next thing you know, you're on the other side of the field and you've made yourself a better person with better habits, with a better chance to make 100 healthy, baby. Thanks so much.
Thanks. Thank you, everybody.